Bryn Mighty Mouths Griffiths, the host of the Outsiders podcast, joining us today from the City of Champions, the Alberta capital. How you doing, Brynster?
I'm doing great. All set to go.
Sounds like that city is on fire for the soccer game tonight. Tell me all about it, please.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm just testing everything out. I'm trying to get a couple of things done at the same time here, Roddy. I just kind of checked in to see where ticket sales were this morning. The number they're trying to beat today, and I think they're going to beat it, was the Grey Cup here in 2019. And they put 55,819 into the stadium for that. This is going to come close tonight to beating that. And then you have Mexico, who is a world powerhouse. They're coming in on Tuesday night, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same number. They're already over 50,000 for that one. And we'll see what the walk-up crowd's like. The only thing is that it's a Friday night, and there's a lot of tour groups coming in. I know a lot of people coming in from Calgary. Some people coming in from Vancouver. So it's drawing not just attention from the Metro Edmonton area, but obviously from Calgary and Vancouver and some other places as well.
So I just got a text from a sports guy, an owner actually, who has said likely over 100,000 in attendance over 2 games in 5 days. Tell me, Bryn, how did this catch fire to this degree?
Well, first things first, Alphonso Davies is from the north end of Edmonton. And I think we tend to downplay his significance globally because he's from here and because soccer is not the number one sport that we watch. He doesn't get the attention. When my cousins and some of my relatives in the UK are sending me notes talking about this kid from Edmonton, you know that it's starting to make there's a bit of a splash over there. He plays for Bayern Munich, obviously in the Bundesliga. So he's obviously caught the attention of my relatives overseas. That says a fair chunk. Then he scored a rather sizable goal. It was a highlight reel goal against Panama in Toronto, a 4-1 victory. And the timing of that goal you just can't say enough about it because it just electrified people here. And all of a sudden, people here noticed it. I think it just drove ticket sales right through the roof. The other thing, too, we got to take a look at is that soccer still, by a huge margin, is the number one participation sport in the country. There's a diversification of our population. So a lot of people are coming from other countries and setting down roots in Canada, which is great. Soccer is their sport. So obviously the fan base is growing, but the men's national team is finally getting it going with a lot of younger players who have developed. So I think that there's a lot of factors coming into play here. The other thing, too, is that I think fans just want to get out and support a team. And anytime, to use our friend Peter Labardius, and I'm not going to steal a Ryan Leslie impression thing here, but Peter and I have always talked about how much fun it is to go cheer for any Canadian team, whether it's Tiddlywinks, and some of the younger audience might have to Google that. It just doesn't matter what the sport is. When you've got the red and white on and you're in the crowd, you really want to cheer as loud as you possibly can. And I think that the crowd here has decided that they want to support the men's national program, who right now I think are going to make it. And I think they want to support the Edmonton kid, Alphonso Davies. And I think there's a lot of factors here. And the other thing, too, is there's been no real reason to go to Commonwealth Stadium this summer and this winter.
And that's my point. I'm just doing the math here because everybody's saying it's $22 tickets. I'm like, well, $22 tickets at 50,000 is over $1 million in ticket revenue, right? So what's wrong with that? Don't say cheap tickets. That's why they're going. It's not cheap. But it coincides with the slide of the Elks. And to be honest, Bryn, we're in sports. Everything's a competition in sports. We got to be. You're going to compare the crowds for the Elks versus the crowds for this. What's up with Elks football?
I don't think that's a fair comparable, Rod. I don't think that's a fair comparable because, as I mentioned, you've got people coming in from other places.
That's our good fair. Friend, I'm saying how it looks. I'm saying how it looks. Period.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the one thing you got to take a look at is that the football organization here has just been beyond a debacle this year. And if full-scale changes aren't done this winter, you're going to be looking at crowds similar to what you've seen this year. The I really don't give a crap meter is in full force now with the football club to the point where I don't even know who's going to be playing in the playoffs. I haven't really looked at the standings because not only did the Oilers season take off and they're on an absolute roll at 10-2, we've had this event coming up and everybody's been talking about it for a couple of weeks. We also have the World Junior Hockey Championships coming up here in Edmonton and Red Deer over the holiday season. So people are just kind of gunned right up for it. And the one thing that this city is more than anything is it's a big event town. And if they recognize that it's going to be an event, they're going to be there.
I gotcha. Listen, I totally get it, Bryn, but you and I come from a time where Edmonton led the CFL in attendance every year for 30 years. And now they probably have the worst attendance in the CFL. So we could use whatever excuse we want. This needs to be fixed. And you obviously read Terry Jones' column that they need to light a match and burn it to the ground. Do you think they're actually going to do that?
I don't know if they're going to do it, and I don't think it's going to matter because, as I said, the diversification, multicultural nature of our city, and I can't speak for other ones across the country, but I know it's there. I just think that there's a slow shift to going this direction. And the one thing here, there are other things to do. It's not, it's the metro area here is 1.4, Calgary's 1.5. And if you don't give people a good reason to go, they're spending their money elsewhere. And we're seeing it this year. If they don't make full-scale changes with the CFL club here, it's not going to make any difference. You're going to see crowds the same size as you saw this year because people it's not a sexy thing to do. It's not you don't want to be seen at the games. People want to be seen at the soccer matches, these next two soccer matches. They're going. So all you got to do is you have to make it appealing. This boils down to what you and I, we've always talked about, and some people just don't get it. If you don't know how to market or you market it like crap, people will perceive it as crap. The Canadian Football League has done a really miserable job of marketing. And now, in places where teams win and they've got a football club that's worthy of going to see, fans will still go there. They might bitch and whine a little bit about it, but they'll still go. But when things go south, it's going south in a big hurry. And the other thing, too, is that we're seeing the effects of having the 1 year off. They fell off the radar screen here, and it is going to take... I think they can get back on the radar screen, Rod, but it's going to take a lot of work here.
And everywhere across the CFL, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
Bryn, can you give it to me? Can you give it to me as we say goodbye?
Yes, I can, Rod. I just want to tell you that I'm getting ready to go over to the soccer match. I'm going to sit in the stands because it'll be way more fun to cheer on the red, white, and I guess a little bit of black. They're calling it the Sea of Red, which goes over a little uncomfortable here because that's, south of this city. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Before I say it, one last thing on the mustache. I don't care how your mustache or your mustache looks. It's important to back your buddies with cancer and to make sure that prostate cancer awareness is at a high. So I welcome anybody's mustache. It doesn't have to look great. Just show me that you're into it. That's all I care about. Rod, I got to get going because there's going to be lineups at the stadium today. So I'm out of here.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, Bryn.
Yeah.
I love it.
That?
Have a great weekend. Thanks for the time. Look at this. Love that guy. I'm out of here. Bryn Griffiths, his famous sign-off. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.